It's 1:15 at the Midday Show. My name's Dean, and I have a very special guest in the building. Now, this man needs no introduction. The legend, the icon himself, bad boy Jim Iyke. He is
Uh,
here with me today. Hello.
yeah, hey, how you doing?
I'm
Nice to
good.
see you, Joe.
It's
I'm a
nice to
fan.
see
I'm
you.
a fan.
Oh, already? Oh,
Yeah,
thanks.
yeah.
How are you, though? How have you been?
Awesome. The universe has been far too kind. I have no complaints.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So we call you the bad boy, but you're not really a bad boy, are
I
you?
am bad, sweetie.
You are bad. Bad to the
But in
bone.
all the right places. It's a term. You just need to give it a frame of reference, if you will.
Okay.
It can be bad. You fall short of the law. You never keep to decorum or respect other people's time.
Mm-hmm.
Are you always unruly, couth? Or it can be bad the way you create, the way you present yourself. You don't follow the orthodox. You think outside the box. You're untraditional. I think the latter category is where I want to be.
Ah, so the inspiration for Gen Z. That's what
There
I'm
you
seeing
go.
here.
Everybody that's done this in a different way that stands out in the crowd is bad.
I like it. So we're talking a bit off air about Rude Boy.
Yes.
So I was asking you what albums you're listening to, what songs
Yeah.
you like, and I was spoken about how he was here a few weeks ago
Yes.
and said that his inspiration for most of his songs come from when he's asleep.
Yes.
And then we talked about creativity and how that's a regular trend.
Yes.
And with you, sometimes you get into these roles
Yes.
and it's almost like it stays with you
hmm
for a minute. Can you
Mhm.
expand on that for the listeners?
Well, it's a very rare place of being that you have to understand the pattern. If you like the psychological algorithm that goes with it, you have to totally understand how it works for you. With different people, it's a different mode, a different form. With him, is probably when he sleeps, he dreams. He's more of the Joseph propensity. Shout out to my boy, by the way. Well, me, now my space is in the bathroom.
Okay.
I spend probably an hour in the bathroom.
Really?
Yes, I have a last shower. I keep changing my shower. People are like, "What's wrong with him? What's in the shower?" So when I'm under that water, time stands still. Literally, I become less conscious of stuff around me. I don't remember stuff. I don't recall anything. That is where my kinetics, my energy actually go to work in creativity. Things begin to unfold. Things I had no answers to. Funny enough, the beat of the water on my skin, on my head, I begin to, you know, transform or transmute rather into another realm,
Mm-hmm.
and I make a point of talking away everything that happens in that space in my mental archives. Because when I get away, there's always fire. Believe me. So sometimes I take that shower that's unnecessary because in there it's been infused by providence or whatever it is, whatever energies above that we look at as regards my creative space, my creative energy. So I believe him that when he sleeps, he dreams and then it becomes his creative space. Mine is in the shower, or mine is another thing I do is when I shut down the entire light in the house
Mm-hmm.
or in the room, they can be light.
Really?
In the dark, I sit up in the dark. I've had this experience where I do it sometimes for 5 hours. I'm telling you, I go in between, come, I get a drink, I go back. It's like an out of body experience. When I have a new project, that is where I create it from beginning to the end. And when I start talking about it in conference and everything, but like, how long have you been talking about this? Boy, it took one night. That total silence, that space in there, the picture is clear in my mind. The journey is clear. I begin to unfold what I want. I begin the process of elimination and submission. It's incredible,
In one night.
and I perfect it as I go. Believe me, it's you don't want to. A lot of people don't talk about it because it's so uncanny and it makes you present you in a certain weird light.
Mhm.
But
It's
believe me,
real.
what it's real. This thing called is a very transitional, very spiritual realm
Mm-hmm.
that it doesn't have to be conventional for you. It doesn't have to be traditional for you. Just find that works for you and hone it, weaponize it, because in there apparently is where you thrive.
That's fascinating. I think it's interesting to see how inspiration falls on
Mm,
creatives.
mm.
So when you're on set, I want to ask with the chicken and egg, cycle. So was it your roles that led to you being this bad boy, own yourself,
Mm.
do what you need to do,
Mm.
or have you always been that person?
Oh no, it was a total adverse. I remember I'm a loner.
Yeah.
I am really. There's I think I see it in my son as well. So I think it's way beyond that.
So the genes.
Yeah, it's strong genes. I'll put him in. When we go out, to hang out. He has a couple of friends that he hang out with. He will go to the playground. He wants to be by himself, play by himself. You
Yeah.
can't force him to be with people. He
Yeah.
will stay there as long as necessary. When he's ready, he'll go join the popular, you know, society. But basically, he's happy but being by himself. Whatever questions he has, he orders me to come over there and do it for him.
He
And
orders you.
yeah, he tells me, hey, Papa, come over. When I'm done, he wants me out. He doesn't want me in his space. So I was always like that. But then, of course, the generation was different. The times were different. Mine was with books. My escape was book. I love books. I still consume 3 to 4 books every month. Now that I have less time. Before it used to be weekly.
Wow.
I love TV. It's my escape. I'm the same kid back then that anytime they feel lost in the movie, hey, you go and get them from upstairs. So it's like that. It's always been that kind of space for me that informs my creativity, and that's how I carried on. I just as I got older, as I understood more what was expected of me, I stopped existing more in the public space and started finding my refuge and my goals and vision in creating alone. All I have to do at the end of the day is that I come out and then find help, support system that will somehow help my vision. But the inception, the creative idea, first of all, has to come with me. I've never felt comfortable creating a space with a lot of people.
That makes sense. All right, speaking of you creating, you have a brand new movie, Bad Comments, and that's what we're here to talk about.
Yes.
Now, the movie is kind of based around social media
Right.
and, the trolls that exist online.
Right.
Before we get into all of that, you do exist in the social media space.
Absolutely.
And you can't be a bit of a savage.
Yeah, I am a savage. I am.
What is the craziest comment that you have received that you were like, is this person mad? Have they not seen my
Somebody
fire?
said I have HIV. Yes, there's a very unhappy child somewhere that woke up and decided my life is so unhappy. I should extend that unhappiness to everybody. And woke up, went to my comment section and said, "Oh, that her uncle is actually." This was 8 years ago.
Yeah.
That her uncle is 9 years actually. Yeah, 9 years. That her uncle is a doctor, and I just left the hospital and I was HIV positive. And that's when HIV was like literally, if you ask for new someone will think, oh, is this person okay?
Hey.
So this girl said it, and when we checked her page, this person was barely 24, 25.
Wow.
So I'm like, I don't know you. You've never been in my space. What level of unhappiness will make you want to go root? So And trust me, that was when I used to think, I shouldn't come out in the public. I had a management that would tell me, no, don't do that, don't reply. I just leave it to blow over. And I had to go sit at home and deal with it. Like, seriously, because I had people, loved ones calling me and saying, hey, what's going on? I was in a relationship, And the person was insisting, hey, don't you think we should go get some tests? I was like, okay, because she heard this. And so I did it. And I used to brandish it around like, yo, guys, I'm
Hello. Let's get this straight.
So these are things, trust me, sometimes they say this out of sheer ignorance and they don't know that there are cause and effects of every word you put out. Your whole demeanor can depict just negativity by itself. So they carry that. There's just some people that walk around unhappy.
It's crazy.
I'm telling you, I met them.
Just think of these things.
And this energy comes to me every room I walk into. I know who's cool and who is dealing with issues. I don't want to be in your space. I'm very careful who comes into my space. I make sure, no matter how gifted or talented you are, if your energy is wrong, you can't work with me.
Yeah.
I'll ask them to remove you immediately.
Wow.
I do it on set. Yeah. I walk into set, I see somebody that, man, you're not helping my energy in any way. Every time I see you, you're mad. Every time I see you, you're angry, yelling on the phone. And then you come around me, you want to start making my hair or doing, nah, my dear, keep it moving. Bring me the worst mediocre out there, I'll be happy.
Wow.
That mess up my makeup, but let him be happy.
Eyebrows like this,
it's very important because it's contagious.
I agree.
I want to address it, and by addressing it with you, I'm already in that energy.
Yeah.
It's already moved. And I'm about to do something that's purely psychological. How am I going to make the transition from having an argument with you into a happy space of creating? No. I get rid of the person and I continue my journey of happiness and just being contented with myself, man. That's how I live.
Have you ever thought when you go one of these comments that if I find you?
Hell yeah.
In fact, what's your address? I'll track you down.
I found somebody.
Really?
Yeah, we did. And in Ghana.
Tell me about this. What happened?
Okay, so we a Camaro just came out then. And we're shooting Jamaica Unscripted. And I was ambassador for Virgin Atlantic, and they just shut down establishments here. They wanted to reopen in Ghana.
Okay.
So they said to any part who wanted to go in the world, we had to go from Ghana. So I hadn't shipped the Camaro to Ghana. I got one and I had him shipped in Ghana. I was going for a conference. Some little guy just came out of nowhere. I don't know why they always shitty looking this dude. Seriously, man. So you will not see a happy, cool person that is doing this thing.
I mean, that's
it's
why
also
they're
some funny looking person that's angry
That's
for no
rough.
reason. Some are even well kept, but they said them they're just angry. So he said, "Take a pic. Can I take a picture with you next to the car?" I took. He said, "Can I take a picture?" That's him next to the car. He gave me his phone and said, "Take it." I took. He said, "Can he get into the car and take it?" I said, "Bros, no now. I don't know who you are. It's a bit too much." I shut the door. He walked away. I thought that was it. This dude went and found an accidented Camaro online. His was dark blue, mine was black. Put it online and said, "I just had an accident." His was even convertible like mine. That I just had an accident and I was sitting somewhere in a hospital in coma and I wasn't likely to survive. That week was a week they scheduled shoot for me in Frankfurt, Zurich, Amsterdam, and London.
Yeah.
So I couldn't be reached for 6 days. It was a 1 week shoot, 2 days per country. I couldn't be reached for 5 days.
So no one knew.
My mom passed out, was in the hospital for high blood pressure.
No.
My sisters were calling back. They believed it. And again, something happened. In my final year, I had a bike accident. My leg was hanging somewhere for 2 months. I made my girlfriend not contact my family. As a matter of fact, the doctor ended up calling my family when my legs started rotting, basically, and I couldn't afford the hospital bill.
Yeah.
So she thought, "Oh, you're doing this again. You're probably somewhere in pain and you don't want us to know." So I had to take a picture, a video, like in my birthday suit, business hanging, everything. Just took a whole picture, sent to her to say, "Hey, I'm fine." So when I came back, I decided to take this pain to this guy.
So what did we do?
So we searched for him. I used resources, I used contact, I used everything, and we found him.
Wow.
This is radio. I can't talk about it.
Oh no! He wants a PG version now.
I can't talk about it. But we took care of business.
How badly did he
Yeah,
beg?
no. Oh my. Oh, you don't want to see these guys when you call them. They're not that brave. When they see some. Oh, when I came, I didn't know that dude was that humble. When he saw me sweaty and looking at him with that smile, I had. Oh, have you seen crocodiles? That smile. I was looking at him like, okay, here's dinner. So no, he begged. We handed him over to the police. He served a short time. It was ugly. At the end of that, I pitied him, went back to beg for him and got him out. But lesson was served. We made sure we removed him from that space till tomorrow. He will never get into that space.
No, that's a good lesson because I feel like with social media, so many people get comfortable with the whole anonymity.
Yeah, but
and they say anything.
No. I have a friend that's looking for one now.
Wow.
They forget people have resources. They forget
Yeah.
people can be determined. The same people you're trolling can be extremely ruthless. I'm as extremely kind as I am ruthless. I'm telling you, sometimes when you cross the line, especially with a loved one, attack me. I can take it. I'm a shock absorber. I find humor in it. Don't attack people I love. The lion will unleash. It's that simple.
Hey, bad boy
So,
Jim.
no, my dear, that's what it is. There are people in your life. I see you're a daddy's girl. Somebody wants to hurt your dad for a reason or something.
That's
or
fierce.
your family. Yeah, there you go. The lioness comes out.
It's true.
So why do you want to go there? You think you can do stuff like that and get away with it? No. They touch somebody that's untouchable. My mom, and I went for it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
All right, so this kind of plays out in your movie Bad Comments.
absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about this.
I needed a common denominator.
Okay.
I needed something that, people, irrespective of class, religion, creed, or political affiliation, we see as a common denominator. Something that I will create is not a Nollywood, Bollywood, or Hollywood film. It's just a beautiful film that anybody can vibe, that anybody can resonate with. And we found that common space on the internet. Anybody between the ages of 2 to 90, at some point in your life, would have existed in this space. So that was the kind of story we needed to tell, a story anybody can resonate with. Backcoming is that movie, if either being a troll or victim or cross lane. I have trolled. I have been a victim.
We see.
Oh no, everybody have. Trust me, you've trolled somebody.
Yeah, I have.
Your baby sister. I know you've trolled somebody.
I have.
You look like you
And
know.
they came from
Oh
you.
yeah. Oh yes. I've trolled my sisters a lot of times. Come on. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
So I wanted to put a searchlight on every actor in that space. Especially I told it from the prism of the anti-hero, which is basically the actor, the celebrity. Okay, are we doing too much? Is our ostentatious lifestyle that we're thrusting in people's faces? Is it for self-glorification, self-gratification, rather than promoting and uplifting? Are there so many other ways we could have done this? So many other elegant ways gracious ways. We will display our gifts and our successes without rubbing it in people's faces. So, what really is the narrative behind the scene? And then for the other people, why do you want to be on another person's lane? Your lane is a beautiful journey God created for you already. Why do you want to be somebody else? If this person you aspire to be, you look up to be, tell you the behind the scenes, oh my God, what they go through or what they went through to be there. You don't want that. You bless God every day for where you are.
Yeah.
So this space you're trying to get into is clogged with so many people. Your space, your lane is traffic free. Why do you want to be someone else? So it's a narrative that cuts across all divides, all conversation. What I wanted to do above all else is to offer perspective. So you come into this space, you understand that it's a world-class platform created for people to exhibit their talent, some sort of short inroad to fame and fortune. It's not for you to make it culturally cool, to project cruelty and hatred. It's not. So there's a conversation that must be had. And then there's another advocacy behind it. I researched personally and found out that, young men and women between the ages of 15 and 19 are most susceptible to suicide.
Yeah.
And then 77% of them happen in third world or lower income countries, namely us.
But we don't talk about it.
We don't talk about it. A lot is going on. People are losing their lives. People that are being bullied. You know how it is when you want help, you mentally seek this help, and people think you're weak. That is the narrative. It's the stereotype that we've been imbued in psychologically with. So it's an issue of mental health. This conversation must be had at the highest level. You see, this double standardness has to be, disregarded. People need to come out more understand that what you say has cause and effect. You don't know whose dream you're robbing. You don't know who you're sending to depression. You don't know who's become suicidal because of what you said. You don't know who's dealing with stuff. One offhanded comment. I had a friend of mine, and just few of them that I'm really close to. But this particular person is a lovely soul. She's perceived in a different light in public.
Yeah.
She's in the arts. She called me one night and was crying. She was suicidal. A friend she trusted took her story out, and it came out. And this person was just distraught. I had to come out that day. Thankfully, my big sister and her kids were in my home. And I called her and said, I don't know what else to say. Can you speak to my friend? I just feel that if I don't address it this night, tomorrow I might regret it for the rest of my life. So we spent about an hour talking to her and calmed her down. And I had somebody go over there the next day. This is somebody that's wealthy, that's extremely famous, that has everything in life. But just what you said to her, innocently, and from somebody she trusted, was about to end her life. So this encompassed the reason I needed to do this. So it's way beyond the call of entertainment or just putting out a story or is my comeback or whatever. Yes, there's a segment of it that of course bears a certain truth. But the real reason is that this is long overdue for a conversation.
I love it. What do you think the audience will love most about this film?
That they'll find a part of them in it.
Okay.
The whole essence of creating a movie like this, whether it's a satire or it's a true life story, a lot of people may even turn into a tongue-in-cheek narration of that space. But the truth is that, do I exist in this space? Can I resonate with it? Is this something I can take away from? And trust me, I don't care what kind of buff you belong to, what divide you are. You're the romantic, you're the old romantic, you're the action guy, you're the sci-fi guy, you're the laid-back dude, you're the fashion guy. We took every element of human existence, clamped it together, and created a masterpiece, and it's called Back Coming.
I love it. When and where can we see it?
22nd, this Sunday, is our premiere. Come looking like you want people to comment about you. Okay, and then 27th, we go live on cinemas, and we are going to rule, no doubt. It's the best film.
All right. So out everywhere on the 27th for you to watch.
Yes.
All right, go check out Bad Comments. Before I let you go, though, we have to give you your flowers.
Absolutely.
You've been in this game for almost 20 years now.
Yes.
Coming to 20 years.
Yes.
You are a legend, an icon, an inspiration. What would you say is one thing that you definitely got right in your career? Because not only are you one of the highest paid actors of all time, you also have your own production company, a recording label. You also did music. What would you say is one thing that you were like, yeah, I definitely got this right? If you had to give someone advice, for example.
I think individuality and flair is more than anything else. And an almost obsessive belief in God. I've failed as much as I've barely succeeded, and it's part of my journey. I've embraced failure to a point where it's become, something I probably laugh at. and to a point that that it perfected what you might term in street parlance as my hustle. My hustle is so on point right now that I can turn down $1 billion and take $10 because that $10 will make my next $2 billion.
Yeah.
So the size of my last no is usually what informs the next big yes. So in other terms, I've remained as true as I can with my individuality and I refuse to flatter. I refuse to compromise. I refuse to water it down. What you see is what you get.
All right.
So I think if you remain true to who you really are, embrace and understand that authenticity is what the whole structure of your success is centered on your difference. Stop trying to fit in. No, just stand out and do you. And trust me, everything you aspire will come.
Being the bad boy that you are.
I
What do you think about this new wave of Nollywood memes, or Nollywood dressing, the parties?
Yeah, that's what they do. But everybody's looking for validation. That's why. But we don't do that. I don't think like that. I think really in global terms. And what I wanted to do more than anything else is to go whenever I have something to say. I don't think one should exist in a space where you're barely surviving and carrying on.
Yeah.
I only come when it's necessary. I've left, I think 15 years is what you might term as my come and go in this industry. I've been consistent in this industry. I've left many times either to get a master's or get my businesses right or create my platforms or my entities. We own several businesses, and that's because I understood at every time where to go and when to infuse the entirety of my energy into creating it. Many times where I created stuff, I put in the hands of people that were far less passionate than me, and they will run the business down. So the last 7 years, I said, now we had a meeting and we decided this is how it's going to be. But you only come when you have something to say. And that's what I feel right now. So maybe I won't have anything to say in the next 2-3 years. And I don't care. When I have something to say, I know how to put it up with the loudest voice.
I respect that. All right. Bad Comments. The premiere is this Sunday,
Yes.
22nd. It's out in cinemas on the 27th everywhere.
Yes, ma'am.
What is your most fun memory while making this movie?
The fact that a lot of people cried and were distraught. I took everybody out of their element.
Ooh.
That's the fun part. I made sure nobody was comfortable. A place where dreams go and die is the comfort zone.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
everybody that came there knew that they were coming to work for a madman, the most creative madman ever. So we had so much laughs. All our mistakes, we sat down laughing about. I lost money on the location. There was a time we lost 4 million on the location, and everybody thought I would go mad, and I came out laughing. You know why? Because that is a lesson that I've tucked away in my mental archives. That will never happen. But it was hilarious what led to it. So I had to make it humorous, So there was so many challenges here and there. But the one thing I took away was a human element. I just wanted to make it as humanistically, if there's a word like that, borrowed to me as possible. So that people I don't want people to come and think it's a production. I want them to understand that it's a journey.
All right. I have so many other questions. We could go on and on and on because you're so interesting to talk to. Thank you for stopping by. Feel free to hang around whenever you want to. Go watch Bad Comments out in cinemas on the 27th of August this month. Any final words?
Yes, it's the best film.
All right. He will stand by that word. Go check it out. We have the news coming up right now, then some more fantastic music. It's the Beat 99.9 FM, Nadine on your radio. Don't go anywhere.